Stephen's topic this evening is stinking rich. Stephen White, stinking rich, are you?
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and honoured guests, can anybody tell me what the official currency of Egypt is?
It's Egyptian pound.
It is indeed the Egyptian pound, or supposedly it is the Egyptian pound. I say supposedly because that's not necessarily true in practice. Or at least it wasn't about 10 years ago, as I should explain. My wife and I were lucky enough to travel to Egypt back in 2003, when we were still living in England. We planned to fly into Cairo, spend a few days there, get the sleeper train all the way down south to Aswan, go on a tour to Abu Simbel, then come back on the train, via Luxor back to Cairo and fly out again. We of course had done our research, and one of the things we knew was that upon entering the country you had to pay for a visa stamp before you could get in. And we also knew that to get the sleeper train we had to pay for the tickets in cash. And so before we went, we got a whole load of Egyptian pounds so that we could pay the cash out as we needed, as well as obviously what we needed while we were there. So it's a bit annoying when we arrived at Cairo airport to discover that to buy the visa stamp you had to pay in US dollars. I mean, obviously, why would you charge people to enter your country in the currency that is your own? I mean, why do that? That's just silly, isn't it? So, fortunately enough, I happened for some reason to have enough US dollars on me to actually pay for both our visa stamps. So there was no real problem. It was just this, oh, what's that all about? What we didn't expect was to encounter the same problem when we came to buy our tickets for the sleeper train. But there you go. We wandered along to the main train station in Cairo, fortunately a couple of days before we wanted to travel, to see the sign, all tickets must be purchased in cash using US dollars. Great. Okay then, we've got all these Egyptian pounds, we'll just go to a foreign exchange and change some of the Egyptian pounds into US dollars. And that's when we really realised just how unstable the currency was. Because no one wanted Egyptian pounds. And because everyone wanted US dollars, they were really scarce. Even in the foreign exchanges, which were also scarce. So Emma and I spent the best part of the day traipsing around Cairo, walking from exchange to exchange, from hotel to hotel, scraping together what dollars we could. $30 here, $40 there, until we finally had just about enough money to pay for 2 one-way tickets to Aswan on the sleeper train. We knew we'd face the same problem when we actually got down there, but at least we could get there. Mind you, if I had to handle Egyptian pounds every day, I'd be crying out to use US dollars, or in fact, any other currency at all. Now, Egypt, as you may or may not know, is a tipping culture. They call it bakshish. You give for every transaction that you undertake. There's a tip here, there's a tip there, bakshish, bakshish. And the consequence of that was that I had to carry around a huge wedge of £1 notes with me at all times. It's also a male-orientated culture, which meant that I had to deal with all the transactions. Hence the big watch of notes to carry around. Now, because it's a tipping culture, it would seem that all those lower denomination notes have been handled at one stage or another by every single member of the population. I had never before encountered money that was actually damp. presumably from sweat. Hopefully from sweat. Now to think about it. And it stank. It permeated my clothes and my skin at all times. And like I say, I had to carry around sort of 30 or 40 individual notes at all times in my pocket, reaching them all the time. Just horrid, really. But I had to do that, so we weren't caught short. And in fact, in case we were caught short, because you never knew when you actually had to pay for toilet paper, when you went to the toilet. My most horrific memory of this was when we got to take the sleeper train from Cairo station, and we got a taxi there. And due to my none too flash Arabic, the taxi driver actually ended up in the wrong part of a one-way system and had to go a fair way out of his way to get back into the train station to get us there in time for the train. So when I came to pay the fare, I gave him quite a hefty tip. And he was obviously unaccustomed to such generosity, because he took this little wedge of notes that I'd given him, raised them to his lips, and kissed the money. He kissed the money. And I thought, goodness knows what transferable diseases are now on your lips and your face. But I really felt for his unwitting wife at home who would get the onward flow of that. So, a couple of recommendations if you do visit Egypt. 1, take plenty of US dollars if you can. And 2, take plenty of hand sanitizer. So that when you're handling all this grubby money, it just doesn't get under your skin. Bad and toast, master.